Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Service and Sacrifice here on WTEN Plus. I'm Ryan Peterson. July 4th weekend. We're here. Big celebrations. Well, there's celebrations all year long, really, celebrating the 250th birthday of these United States. Joining me, as always, Dom Dominguez and Mo Baker. Hello, fellas. Big plans for Saturday, for tomorrow, for the 4th? What do you got going on?
Hot dogs, burgers. I just recently found out that people call hot dogs freedom missiles. So
Freedom missiles?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a good one. It's better than Glizzy. I don't like that Glizzy name.
Yeah. I may have an early event to go to, but that will be my wrap-up for the day.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. I like to hear it. We partake in some festivities at the Peterson household. I will tell you about off camera. We have a very, all our guests are special, but this one's pretty phenomenal this week. Gold Star mother, Carrie Farley. Dom, you brought Carrie to my attention. She lost her son Derek in Afghanistan in 2010. And she now serves as the chapter president, I believe, for the Albany chapter of Gold Star Mothers. Very active, very involved. Tell me a little bit about Carrie before we meet her here officially.
Well, Carrie is an extraordinary human being. She really goes above and beyond for veterans, and obviously it's because she's a Gold Star mother. She's a wealth of educational knowledge. You'd be surprised how many people do not know what a Gold Star parent is, what a Gold Star mother is, what a Blue Star parent is, and whatnot. And Carrie is someone who is very good at explaining what that means. She's very good at introducing you to her son, because when she talks about Derek, it's very, very in your face, very right there, and he still continues to live on with Carrie, which is why she's so dedicated to different veteran-oriented events. She's probably one of our best volunteers, if not our best volunteer at the VE Medical Center, and it's because of that dedication to veterans that she has, because Derek is alive in her every day, all the time. And, I think she's going to be talking about her trip to, I believe it was France that she went on. Right. So, those things mean a lot to her because it revitalizes her son. So God bless all the Gold Star parents, Blue Star parents, and it's truly educational and wonderful to talk to her.
Emily, you've had a chance to meet her as well, too, right?
Actually, over the last 6 years, I've been at many, many events that she's been at. And sometimes she's a participant, sometimes she's there as an observer. And I learned a little bit about her situation and her goals and her drive and how she's coped helping so many other people. And I just think it's amazing. I think she's an amazing woman and so impressed and so glad to even know her.
And I'm excited to get to chat with her for a little bit. And Dom, you had mentioned it already, but we're going to be talking about, obviously, talk a little bit about her son, Derek, learn about his time in the service, what brought him there, but also this trip she went on recently. They called the Sacred Soil Tour. She and 4 other Gold Star mothers were invited to go along over to France. I believe there was that went through Belgium as well. But to bag up some soil from what is really considered that sacred ground over there, where so many Americans and other allied troops lost their lives, to bring that soil home here to the States, and it's going to be incorporated in a marker that will be dedicated at Arlington National Cemetery.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that we can keep these traditions alive, especially with everything going on. It's important to keep these traditions alive, teach our communities and the children within their communities that these events are still happening. I mean, World War I was, over 100 years ago now, and here we go, dedicating some soil and bringing tradition back from, France to here and vice versa. So that's really cool. And
I feel there needs to be a whole extra effort to educate our youth today and to get the next generation to become incorporated with this. My parents were both in World War II, and I knew and I studied and I loved to learn about it. And I think today maybe a little bit of that's gone away from the drive of our young children.
Well, I talk to my kids about it often. My kids are still a little young. I still have one in elementary school, one in middle school, 2 in middle school right now, one soon to be in high school next year. And we talk about what's discussed in their social studies classes, and a little bit is touched on, and hopefully more is touched on in high school. I was trying to recall what I learned when I was their age, and I think curriculum has changed. Maybe not discussed as much as it once was, which is unfortunate. We need to keep that stuff alive.
But yeah, super happy with Carrie because she's going to be telling us some pretty cool stories and sacrifices. So what better person really to sit next to us and kind of explain to the public,
right.
to our military community, and to everyone that listens to this program about what a Gold Star mother is. That's going to be really exciting.
About the history of service in their family as a whole, too. So we're going to have Carrie joining us here next. Stay right there. You're watching Service and Sacrifice on WTEN Plus. Back after a break. Welcome back, everybody, to Service and Sacrifice on this Friday, July 3rd. As promised, our special guest joins us now this week. We are very proud and honored to welcome Carrie Farley, Gold Star mother from East Greenbush, New York. She joins us this week to talk all about a really cool special trip she took recently. Carrie, welcome.
Thank you very much
Thanks for coming
having
in.
me, and thank you, Dom, for
Absolutely.
bringing up this project.
Absolutely. Before we talk about the trip you took recently, I'd like you to talk about your son, Staff Sergeant Derek Farley, who died in Afghanistan back in 2010. Tell us a little bit about Derek.
Derek, very young, average boy, country boy, who grew up in Nassau and just founded a mission of his. He joined the Army right out of high school, decided to pick Army and explosive disposal, went off, enjoyed very much his experience in boot camp and thought it was okay to do, so he continued on. He loved the military. He loved this country very much. First deployment to Iraq was an eye-opener. Like everyone else, he grew up pretty fast. But he enjoyed it. And then after that, he went to Germany. His first email was, "Mom, the beer's amazing and the girls are even prettier." He was a 20-year-old boy. He really enjoyed Europe. And his second deployment was difficult, but he also felt he was doing a very important job. And sadly, 2 weeks before he was to come home, he was killed. And that's where my Gold Star Mother process, the Department of Defense labeled me a Gold Star Mother. And on we went.
It's a phenomenal organization. If I could get you to talk a little bit about them as well and what all those moms have meant to you and how that kind of helped you on your journey here.
Yes.
Since losing Derek.
Losing Derek was extremely the most difficult thing in my life. Yeah. I was very lost. When your child dies while on active duty, the Department of Defense labels you a Gold Star. There's an organization called American Gold Star Mothers. Mm-hmm. You have to join. I pay dues. We're a service organization, just like, say, the VFW, American Legion Post, or whatever.
Right.
You don't automatically become it. You join. That organization was started in 1928. We are going to be 100 years old. The mission of that organization is to support our veterans, have that camaraderie with our mothers, take care of each other, and to continue. Do not let this country forget about our fallen. It's an age-old organization started by the World War I moms. It's strong. We have a house in Washington. We're chartered with our government, well respected with our government, and we work right along with them. I am part of our state organization. I past past state president for 2 years, current Albany chapter president.
Excellent. You have a picture of Derek there on the table,
I
Carrie?
do.
Can you hold that up and I'll hold it close to you? Yeah, perfect. So we can see him there.
That is Derek.
That's a good-looking boy.
He
Do
looks
you-
like his mama.
Do you have? Was there a history of service in your family?
Derek's father is a Vietnam veteran. There's a service. My father was a World War II veteran. Brother, Navy veteran. So there was, I think, Derek he really enjoyed history. Typical boy. I bought him the Band of Brothers series for Christmas one year. He watched it over and over and over. I didn't understand why. When I asked him, he said, "See those guys in the trenches? That's what I want, Mom." He was about 14 when that happened, and I think he had a mission to serve. He really liked boot camp. He didn't think it was too offensive.
I don't think I've heard that very often.
No, he really kind of
liked
felt it
boot
was
camp.
a little easy. And why he picked explosive disposal, I'm not sure. His comment was he wanted to work for a living. And that he did.
Very, very protective role, right? I mean, do you
Yes.
think there was maybe part of that he felt like a protector for his fellow servicemen, women soldiers?
When he worked very hard to become an explosive disposal technician. There's a 75% drop rate out of that school. When he earned that, he was extremely proud of that. It's a very small class of people, as Dom will know, will contend to, but it's a mission to help protect not only their brothers and sisters in arms, but the people that they were taking care of, like in Afghanistan. It really bothered Derek that the children were being hurt and things like that. It was very important to him. That job was very, very important to him.
See why, and we thank him and so much for his service, and for you, and for your service now, and for your sacrifice. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Sacred Soil Tour and what that was all about, and how you got chosen for that and went along for that. We'll take a quick break. We're back right here on Service and Sacrifice after this. Welcome back to Service and Sacrifice. Carrie Farley, Gold Star mother, here with us, president of the Albany chapter. Correct? I remember that correctly?
That is correct.
That is correct. See? All right. So recently, in honor of America's 250th birthday, which we will celebrate tomorrow on the 4th, really celebrating kind of year-round, all kinds of stuff going on, a Sacred Soil Tour. Now, there were 5 of you total, correct, Carrie, on this trip?
That is correct.
5 Gold Star mothers. Were you chosen for this? Did you elect to go on this? How did it come about for you?
So the organization was reached out to by the American Battle Commission, and they needed soil. And who but better to go over and get the soil from American Gold Star mothers? Because of our involvement of World War I and our losses, tremendous loss from the New York National Guard, They wanted to make sure that there was a New York mother involved. I was blessed to be asked by my National Executive Board to participate, and when asked, I said yes.
So this was to collect soil for a historic marker that will be placed at Arlington National Cemetery. And you were explaining to me earlier, before we started rolling here, that there was a marker, but years ago it was destroyed, and it is now finally getting replaced?
Correct. So the original marker was placed in Arlington Cemetery, and the base of that marker crumbled. So it needed to be taken out. There were soil from graves. Soldiers had brought back soil. That was in 1938. And there were a lot of people from France. They wanted to reestablish that we can never forget and thanking the American soldiers and remember their losses. The cemeteries over there are absolutely amazing and beautiful, well kept. And it was a project that took about a year to transform and pull together. They sent us over there. They honored us. It was quite an amazing experience how these people have never forgotten our involvement, and they're
That
so
relationship,
thankful.
Sure. So the soil collected will become part of this marker at Arlington, right? It'll be encapsulated somehow?
Correct. So each grave, we took a small amount of soil. It had to go through FDA.
Really?
Yes, to come into this country.
All right, okay.
So every single grave, we bagged up to about a half of a
Okay, I'm going
cup.
to pull up the pictures here while you're talking.
Right there, that was actually at a roadside. There was an original soldier. And as you see, 2 bags it was placed in bags. It was sealed. It had to be signed by 2 individuals. That was Ryan and Fred. And then sent over. The soil has been approved, and it is in the U.S. We've all been told
I
that.
would hope so.
Pretty amazing. And then, yes, a new marker was made. We were able to meet the sculptor.
Oh, wow.
That was a very cool experience. In a chapel over in Paris, we were able to have a small ceremony, bless the marker. It will be FedExed and flown here. The first one was shipped by boat. This one was done. And then it will be rededicated in the same spot the first one was. The soil that we brought over will be placed in the back of the marker before it's sealed forever.
And this is coming up, and actually on
July
Sunday,
5th.
on the 5th,
Yes.
you will be in D.C. for this ceremony.
That's correct. Most of us mothers, I believe every single one of the mothers and anyone who was there, have decided that we need to finish the project. We've created history for our country, and it's important for us to be there to place that soil of these wonderful soldiers.
And so appropriate that, America now 250 years old. I think it's wonderful that this was brought about and that it's finally being put in its proper place, and that you were able to take part in this is just phenomenal. I can't thank Dom enough for letting me know about you and bringing you to my attention and for you to join us today. It's been wonderful, Dom. How long have you known Carrie?
When did we meet? 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Carrie came to the VA Medical Center, she's taught me a great deal. You can serve 21 years in service, but there's a lot of the parts outside of the service that you don't realize. And Carrie is someone that taught me that. And the collaboration that the VA has with their Gold Star mothers is impactful. I mean, Carrie said it, right? She wants to finish the project. There's a level of dedication that Gold Star Mothers brings to our country, and specifically with VA medical centers, that you really can't find anywhere else. So I'm happier with the VA. Carrie does everything. She helps with our food pantry. She drives, and I truly do believe that level of dedication is because every time you see a veteran, you probably think of your son coming in. So, of course, you're going to dedicate your life to
That's
these veterans.
correct. They need that
And-
care.
Yeah, so Gold Star mothers are important. It's important for us to recognize our Gold Star mothers, the sacrifices they've given, and the continued partnership that they give to the VA Medical Center, veteran service organizations, and really anything patriotic. I mean, she's someone I hold very dear to my heart. So, yeah.
Carrie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
It
for
was a
having me.
pleasure to meet you and sharing your story and the photos with us. And hopefully we'll get some nice photos back from the ceremony on Sunday at Arlington. Love to see that marker. Talk about it some more.
Okay. Thank you
Carrie.
very much.
Thanks for coming in. We're going to take another break. Back here one last time on Service and Sacrifice on WTEN Plus. Welcome back one final time here on Service and Sacrifice this Friday, July 3rd. Wow.
Wow.
Carrie's a wonderful woman, to say the least. Proud to have met her. Thank you for bringing her to my attention. That was a great conversation, great discussion.
Yeah, wow is exactly it. I mean, the perspective that we see from Carrie is really something, And, this show is called Service and Sacrifice, but she really just told us what stories and sacrifice means. And, hearing Carrie explain her son to us, it was just revitalizing. It's almost like she still sees him every day. And we need to keep our Gold Star mothers at the top of our shelves. Like they've sacrificed it all. Like, what an amazing woman to talk to. It was just wonderful to meet Carrie, and I'm so glad that they picked her to go to France and represent us. What an amazing human being.
I think what happened to her son in his service actually has made her want to assist so many veterans and so many programs and to do good things for other people. And she's so informative, she's inspirational, and what a great lady she is.
What I found astonishing, and I think all of us in some way have a calling to something, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever we all end up doing in our lives. But I loved her story of how she said she got him the entire set of Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
When he was just like 14 years old, and he watched it and he watched it and he watched it, and he knew then that that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to serve, and of course there's a lot of service in the family, as we heard as well. But the fact that he enjoyed boot camp, which gave me a little chuckle too, because you don't hear that very often. But gosh, what an incredible young man, and would have been nice to have gotten to know him.
Yeah, but we know him through Carrie, though, which is great, and which is why I say she really pinpoints stories and sacrifice. But Gold Star mothers and Gold Star parents, I'd say, because there's a lot of Gold Star fathers too. It's important for them to be interconnected with our community because that builds community trust. When we see a Gold Star parent involved, it shows us that we are doing our due diligence to recognize the families of our service members who have given it all, and we're still, we don't forget about them when they're still involved. Like I said before in the first segment, Carrie does a lot at the VA Medical Center in Albany, New York, and we cherish her because she is extra dedicated. Every veteran that comes through those medical center doors, which is about 1,300 every day, Carrie sees Derek. That brings a level of dedication to her volunteer service at the VA Medical Center, and Carrie's involved in everything, like you said, Emily. You've met her at different events, but we need to continue supporting our Gold Star parents. And involving them because they bring a level of perspective that we don't understand, and I hope I never understand that level of perspective as my son's about to join. But it's God bless her. She's just an amazing human being.
I want to pull up a couple of those pictures one more time here and see her as
cool.
they're collecting that soil, bagging it up, and will be part of that marker, that monument at Arlington National Cemetery. I just said, what a trip for her. What an honor for her and those 4 other mothers. Just
Yeah, I mean, I get
awesome.
goosebumps just thinking about
Yeah.
them and seeing all of them dressed in white and honoring.
And they're the American
just,
Legion in France, where the American Legion, as she told us, got its start.
Yeah, and you know what's pretty cool is I'm pretty sure Carrie went there to represent a veteran whose family wasn't there. I mean,
Right,
a
which there
serviceman-
was so much to talk about. I unfortunately did
Yeah.
not get to that.
So it's cool that they pick Gold Star
Right.
mothers for
Private First Class George Bates
Yeah. Yep.
served in the sanitary detachment with the 105th Infantry Regiment, 27th Division. He was from Troy, New York, and died September 29th, 1918. He's buried in the Somme American Cemetery over in France. And more than a century later now, he was finally provided with that personal visit from a Gold Star mother.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's
I get
very
goosebumps,
cool.
man. Just you saying that. Oof.
Yeah, and the inspiration is that she's helping to bring up the memory of all wars, of all different conflicts and people who had died at different times. And that's so important that we remember everybody that participated, everybody that served. And she's wonderful at doing that.
Yeah, and we're coming into July 4th, right? And we have to remember that Independence Day is gained by sacrifice.
Right.
Men and women who have just given their lives for our country. And I know it's not Memorial Day or anything, but we do have to remember how this country started, where it's currently at, and what the future holds for us. But it's important.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we brought her.
And a big one, 250 years.
Yeah.
So have a wonderful weekend. Celebrate wisely, responsibly, everybody. Have some fun, but be careful, please, as always. And we'll see you back here next week on Service and Sacrifice on WTEN+.